As Americans, we eat more than 1.3 billion gallons of ice cream a year. The Food and Drug Administration requires at least 10% milk fat before a product can legally be called ice cream, and 70% of the brands in that freezer do not qualify. They are frozen dairy desserts, wearing packaging designed to make sure we never notice the difference. Some have killed people. Some have been caught lying about their ingredients. Today, we are ranking 10 brands, worst to best, plus a 60-second protocol. Number 10 is Ben & Jerry's. When's the last time we actually read the label on the brand we buy to feel good about ourselves? Ben & Jerry's has built something no other ice cream company has managed. Moral authority, the fair trade logo, the social justice campaign flavors, the packaging designed to make us feel like choosing this pint makes us one of the good ones. We don't just buy Ben & Jerry's. We buy the idea that buying it says something about us. That's not ice cream marketing. That's identity. And it's doing a lot of heavy lifting because the numbers underneath it are genuinely hard to defend. Among all ice creams and frozen dairy desserts, Ben & Jerry's carries one of the highest sugar loads in the entire category. A single serving can hit 33 grams of added sugar, more than the 30 grams most heart specialists recommend for an entire day, consumed in one bowl of what the brand positions as an ethical, conscious choice. They achieve that number through 6 forms of sweetener running through the same formula: sugar, liquid sugar, corn syrup, molasses, honey, and brown sugar. That's not flavor. That's a formula designed to make a heavily processed product taste like it's worth the price. Then there are the lawsuits. Ben & Jerry's has been accused in federal court of misleading customers about how its cows and farmers are actually treated. A separate investigation alleged the brand profited from migrant child labor in its supply chain while running campaigns about fair treatment and worker rights. Parent company Unilever has quietly managed these filings without the fanfare it brings to the flavor launches. We chose this pint because the values felt different. The values were the marketing. Number 9 is Baskin-Robbins. How many times have we walked into a Baskin-Robbins and felt like we were doing something a little special? 31 flavors. The pink spoon. The birthday cake ritual that's been in the family for 3 generations. Baskin-Robbins built its entire identity on the idea that more variety equals more quality, that a company offering this many choices must genuinely know what it's doing. What we didn't notice is how quietly the formula changed underneath all that variety. Start with the ingredient list. High fructose corn syrup, an additive discontinued by most premium brands due to its links to fatty liver disease, insulin resistance, and cardiovascular disease, runs through the Baskin-Robbins lineup. The artificial colors used in several flavors don't appear on European shelves without a mandatory warning label about behavioral effects in children. Some flavors carry up to 21 grams of added sugar per serving, loaded into a product the brand still positions as a treat worth celebrating. Then there's what happened to the container. Baskin-Robbins quietly reduced its take-home pints from 16 fluid ounces to 12. No announcement, no price reduction, just a lighter carton at the same cost, and most of us blamed inflation and kept scooping. That's exactly what a company betting against consumer attention does. 31 flavors. One formula that stopped improving while the marketing kept running. Number 8 is Dairy Queen. Here is something Dairy Queen would prefer we never think too hard about. The company openly states on its own website that its soft serve does not legally qualify as ice cream, not in the fine print of a legal filing. On the website, in plain language. To be classified as ice cream, a product must contain at least 10% milk fat. Dairy Queen's soft serve contains 5%, half the required amount, which means every Blizzard, every cone, every dilly bar any of us has ever ordered was never ice cream. It is a frozen dairy dessert, served with a smile, and decades of deliberate misdirection. The formula filling those cups includes corn syrup, mono and diglycerides, artificial flavor, polysorbate 80, and carrageenan, an additive flagged by researchers for its links to gastrointestinal inflammation and studied for potential effects in animal models. A medium blizzard can cost up to $6.99 depending on location. We are paying premium dessert prices for a product the company itself admits is not the thing it's named after. DQ has been operating this way for over 85 years. They are counting on us never asking why. Number 7 is good humor. Most of us can close our eyes and still hear that truck coming down the block. Good Humor built its entire brand on the feeling of summer, childhood, and the specific joy of hearing bells before we could even see where they were coming from. That image is genuine. The product behind it is something else entirely. Most Good Humor novelties are not ice cream. They are frozen dairy desserts. The iconic strawberry shortcake bar is made with non-fat milk instead of cream and padded with corn syrup, palm oil, soybean oil, coconut oil, multiple stabilizing gums, and artificial flavors. The chocolate-looking coating on their bars contains no real chocolate. It is coconut oil with artificial vanilla standing in as the flavor substitute. Most disturbing is what gives that strawberry bar its color, red 3, an artificial dye. The FDA itself has acknowledged causes cancer in animals. The agency has known this for decades. The dye is still in the product. We hand these bars to children from a truck playing cheerful music and call it summer. The bells are real. What they are selling us is not. Number 6 is Halo Top. What would it take to convince us that eating an entire pint of ice cream in one sitting was actually a healthy decision? Halo Top answered that question, and the answer turned out to be not much. Just enough air packed into the container to bring the calorie count down to 280 calories per pint. Just enough marketing built around that single number. Just enough consumers desperate enough to believe that a guilty pleasure could stop being guilty. Here's what didn't make it onto the front of the carton. To hit that low calorie count, Halo Top relies heavily on erythritol, a sugar alcohol. In small amounts, erythritol causes bloating, cramping, and digestive distress in many people. But when a brand markets a product as guilt-free and tells us to eat the whole pint, small amounts are not what happens. Studies have linked high erythritol consumption to an elevated risk of blood clots, heart attack, and stroke. That research exists. The marketing never mentioned it. In 2018, a class action lawsuit alleged the brand manipulated its calorie numbers by inflating the pint with air. That meant less actual ice cream per container, fewer calories on paper, and the same price at the register. The low calorie count was never the whole story. We just wanted it to be. Now we're halfway through, and the pattern should be impossible to miss. The more famous the name, the harder it leaned on that name instead of what was actually inside the container. Number 5 is Bluebell. What would it take for us to stop trusting a brand we have loved since childhood? Would 3 deaths do it? Would a chief executive officer who knew about the contamination and chose to conceal it do it? Would a $20 million federal penalty and the largest ice cream recall in American history do it? Bluebell is the brand Texans defend with their lives, and that loyalty is earned by the product itself. This is genuinely real ice cream. Dense, creamy, made with actual milk fat and actual flavor. Not frozen dairy dessert. Not whipped full of air to drop the calorie count. When we open a Bluebell container, we know exactly what we are getting because it has always tasted like the real thing. In 2015, a listeria outbreak hospitalized 10 people and killed 3. Bluebell recalled 8 million gallons, the largest recall in the history of American ice cream. Then it emerged that the chief executive officer was aware of the contamination and chose not to act on it. The company was indicted. The penalty came to nearly $20 million in damages. Bluebell came back with promised reforms. Then, in 2025, tubs of Millennium Crunch were found to contain chocolate chip cookie dough with undeclared tree nuts, a life-threatening allergen for thousands of consumers. No reported illnesses this time, but 2 incidents, 2 years apart, 2 different failures. That is a quality control problem, not a coincidence. The ice cream is real. The pattern is not safe yet. Number 4 is Dreyer's, sold as Edie's east of the Rockies. When's the last time we paid for a century of American food history and found out the product had been quietly hollowed out from the inside? Dreyer's invented Rocky Road. For nearly 100 years, this was one of the most genuinely creative ice cream companies in America, a brand with a real claim to the American freezer aisle and a real legacy behind the name. Then came the lawsuits. The first revealed that their vanilla ice cream contained no real vanilla bean. Artificial flavor was doing the work, and every customer who specifically bought vanilla expecting the real ingredient was paying for a simulation. The second lawsuit revealed that the chocolate coating on their chocolate-dipped bars was not real milk chocolate. It was vegetable oil and coconut oil, with no disclosure and no announcement that anything had changed. The slow-churned product line promises less fat and fewer calories. The formula delivers 25% more sugar to compensate for what the fat removal takes away from the taste. And across most of the lineup, Dreyer's has quietly reclassified its products from ice cream to frozen dairy dessert. Lower milk fat, more stabilizing gums, same familiar packaging, no notification to the customers who had been buying the original for years. The creativity that invented Rocky Road is still in the name. The ingredients that made it worth eating mostly are not. Number 3 is Häagen-Dazs. What does a brand look like when it has nothing to hide? Pick up a pint of Häagen-Dazs vanilla bean and flip it over. 5 ingredients: cream, skim milk, sugar, egg yolks, vanilla extract. That is the entire list. No gums to fix a texture that should happen naturally from the fat. No high fructose corn syrup standing in for real sweetness. No artificial flavor approximating something that real vanilla would deliver on its own. There was a time when Häagen-Dazs and Ben & Jerry's stood side by side as the 2 best store-bought ice cream brands in America. Ben & Jerry's chose a different direction. Häagen-Dazs simply didn't. It kept the formula short, kept the sourcing real, and kept earning the kind of recognition that doesn't come from a marketing budget. Professional bakers and culinary outlets have consistently ranked the vanilla bean as the best in its category. Even complex flavors like Rocky Road don't introduce gums or artificial additives to hold themselves together. In a freezer full of frozen dairy desserts wearing premium price tags, Häagen-Dazs is the brand that actually built the premium instead of just charging for it. That earns the buy. Number 2 is Tillamook. Why has one of the most honest ice cream labels in America been sitting in the dairy aisle for 114 years without a fraction of the marketing spend that surrounds everything else in that freezer? Tillamook has been making real ice cream as a farmer-owned cooperative since 1909, which means the people controlling the milk quality are the same people whose names are effectively on the product. The formula reflects that ownership directly. No carrageenan, no high fructose corn syrup, no artificial flavors, no synthetic colors. When a Tillamook pint promises chocolate chips or cookie dough, the mix-ins appear in honest amounts because the brand is not padding the container with air or cutting the fill to protect a margin. The texture is dense in the specific way that only high-fat, properly made ice cream produces. It melts on the tongue instead of turning icy and grainy after the first scoop. A 48-ounce tub runs $5.64. That makes Tillamook the clearest value in the entire clean category by a significant margin. Real ingredients. Honest price. Farmer-owned accountability, the adult version of the decision. Number 1, the clear winner, is Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams. What if we could read every ingredient on an ice cream label and actually know what all of them were, where they came from, and why they were there? That is the entire Jenny's premise. In this aisle, it sounds almost radical, because the rest of the freezer has spent decades training us to expect mystery on every back label. When Jenny Britton Bauer founded Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams in Columbus, Ohio in 2002, the idea was simple and completely unreasonable. Make ice cream the way a pastry chef would. She developed a proprietary base using cream cheese and starch instead of egg yolks and stabilizing gums, a process that creates a genuinely smooth texture that holds together at any temperature without the rubbery quality that gum-heavy ice creams carry. It is a real breakthrough in how the product is made, not a marketing claim. Then the sourcing. Grass-raised milk from Ohio family farms. Single-origin chocolate from Askinosie. Vanilla from Madagascar. Every spice named on the label. Every flavor earned rather than approximated. No hiding behind the word natural. No ingredient that exists to correct for a cheaper version of something else. In this category, at this scale, that level of transparency is unusual enough to feel like a statement. The price is higher than everything else in this freezer. But this is one of the few times in this aisle where the extra cost connects directly to something we can point to: better sourcing, shorter label, a process no other major brand has replicated. The brands that earn our trust show us what's inside. Jenny's shows more than anything else in this aisle. That is the whole difference. Before we go, here's what we check before any pint lands in the cart. 5 things under 60 seconds. 1.3 billion gallons of ice cream a year in America. 70% of what's in that freezer is not legally ice cream. Ben & Jerry's, Baskin-Robbins, and Dairy Queen are 3 of the most trusted names in the category, and none of them deliver what we think we're paying for. Good Humor hides a cancer-linked dye in a nostalgia wrapper. Halo Top built a health claim on a sweetener linked to cardiovascular risk. Bluebell and Dreyer's both have real conversations attached before the trust comes back. Häagen-Dazs gives us real ice cream without the premium theater. Tillamook gives us the cleanest value in the category. Jenny's gives us the clearest reason to spend more, and the only label in this freezer that tells us exactly why. Flip the pint before it hits the cart. If cream isn't the first ingredient, put it back. Drop the brand that's been in your freezer on autopilot in the comments. Subscribe. Keep rising.